Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to kliqthistv.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
You know, Kev, pretty soon you're going to have to make a decision with your Thursday nights. Do you still want to record, or do you want to catch Impact on AMC?
I can DVR Impact.
With the one of the news items creeping up. When's the start date?
15th.
January?
January the 15th, and the airtime is 9 to 11.
Right. So the network that brought you, what was the big show? I guess Walking Dead was probably, right?
Yeah, I think AMC was. Yeah, I would think that would be their biggest show. That was the biggest show, and that was the biggest show in the fucking in the country for a couple of years. So,
you know, when there's a new announcement like this, I always kind of wonder what role does network? I'm saying network. Broadcast TV even have now versus the streaming?
Well, it's also it's on their streaming too.
It's on their streaming too, but that's where the value is, right? Like,
but I do think that there are still a lot of people that are just on basic cable. And that's
I wonder what that number is. I guess that's the story.
Yeah,
there.
but I mean, if it's 17%, that's huge.
Yeah, I guess you got it. I guess you still got to be on the tube.
Yes, like SmackDown. I mean, that's the only show that you can see.
Do you have a provider, right? You have either cable or Fios or something, right? You're direct. Okay, so satellite.
Direct TV. Yeah, satellite.
I don't know why. I gotta just do the apps now. I gotta stop this. But I mean, the $300 a month because I'm too old to feel secure not having a line come into my house from the street. Like,
I still want local. I say I want my local news.
But you can get local news on like YouTube TV. You can get your broadcast.
I'm not watching YouTube TV.
What the fuck's the difference? Who's bringing you the picture? It's still the same picture. Still the same video.
Yeah, I'll pass. What's the
highest viewed show on AMC? I wouldn't have guessed Nautilus, but it's Nautilus. 341,000 weekly. Okay.
Definitely. I mean, fuck, man. That's definitely worth going out. If you get half of that crowd, you're doing well in this world.
It's so.
Plus, it gives you some place that you can, because it gives you one more outlet that you can plug where you're going to be for tapings or live events to to give you for the guys selling the tickets. My buddy Ross Foreman, who's putting the houses together, gives him a chance to have another outlet.
That can pop up on the app. Can be on your Instagram thread, your Facebook page.
I had a lady come. My CPAP was on the shits, so I had a lady come by the other day, and she was she came to to the pool door. She was all hunched over. She was on a cane, and kind of graying hair. And she walked in and she sat down, and you could tell she was about as proficient on a keyboard as I was. And as she was trying to get the directions, my cell phone kept going in and out. And I kept telling her, I said, you know, where I live, I said 60% of my cable feed is the ocean. Like, I don't have anything in front of me. And I don't think she got it until she got to my house. Then she realized, oh, okay, yeah, I can see how, yeah, you're probably not getting a lot from the Sahara as far as fucking Wi-Fi. But so she had to reprogram my machine and everything. And she says, I'm not like you young guys that knows how the internet is. And then at this point, she's pulling up my profile, and she looks at me, she goes, how are you 66? I'm 67. And I'm like, well, it's not that I look great for 66. It's just, I would have guessed you in your mid 80s. Like, so that's where the difference is. Like, I don't you know, I said, God, bless your heart. You know, my wife was upstairs, and she saw her. She came upstairs, and I said to her later, I said, how old do you think she is? She goes, is she mom's age? Meaning her mom. And I said, no, man, she's fucking like a year older than me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, proving still that it's, the number is one thing, and it's what you do with that number that's the other thing.
But there's a lot of people, though, that also say that, age is just a number. You're in good shape still. And I'm like, yeah, age is a number, and so is your odometer. If you got a 2024 car and it's got 3 million miles on it, good luck.
Yeah, but however, if you you're obsessive about your vehicles.
Yeah.
Kind of like you are about your body.
Right.
So you're going to get more out of that car. If we both were on the same starting line, you're going to get more out of your car than I would get out of my car.
Oh yeah, because I'm the guy that is told that he can change his synthetic oil every 7,000 miles. I still change mine at 5. Right. And I'm the guy going, check, make sure all the filters. I'm thinking, because I'm not fucking around here,
Are you're doing that there? You're kind of walking around.
Oh yeah, I'm that guy. I'm telling them, And then when they check the air pressure and all that, they wash and they bring it out from the. It's just like a little quick service thing over by Ford, and I immediately get on the computer and check the air pressure of all 4 tires, because they'll always think I like 3 or 4 times out of 10, I've got a 28, a 32, they didn't do it. It's just one thing they didn't do.
Yeah.
And the last time I went there, I said, you have to change my windshield wipers. And when I left, I'm thinking, okay, I didn't go over the whole itemized bill, but my fucking, it was like $370 to get my oil changed and a couple of filters. So I'm thinking, well, $70 is probably windshield wipers. I just, put it in my glove box. And lo and behold, 4 days later, it starts to rain, and I put on my windshield wipers, and the one goes, and it fucking jumps out. I'm like, motherfucker. It's one of the reasons, I think I stopped. Not one of the reasons, but I was always that guy that went through the drive-through, and I won't eat in my car while I'm driving. So I'll go drive someplace and park and eat. So I don't
park in a lot and you eat and then you leave. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you can get that piece of trash in a receptacle so it doesn't smell like onions in your car, that's great too. And I was always the guy that would drive 7 miles to find, there's a park over there. I'll go sit by the river, open my fucking, one of the burgers is missing. Like, always something fucking, I'm just like, oh, jeez.
You got a can near you, right? You got a garbage can near you somewhere.
Yeah.
Warm water there. Toss it.
Yeah.
Was it? Did you have White Castles in Detroit?
Oh God, yes.
Okay. How long to get the? Remember the guy wanted to take your seat out of the car from your piss. How long? I think a White Castle in high school, when you maybe weren't so concerned with where everything landed. The aroma of White Castle, I think the average stay is probably about 3 to 4 weeks.
In your car?
From the onions.
Oh, God.
The little onions falling around.
I remember one time, it was me and Ross Foreman, who's the got my buddy from TNA, and we had a nitro in Columbus, and when we walked outside, it was snowing like that, like the big ass flakes, like, and when they were hitting the ground, it was real moist, and you could just see it accumulate. And at about 7 o'clock, I just opened the side door to look out at the cars, and there was already probably 3-4 inches of snow on each of the cars. By the time we got out of there at 11:15, it was, there was so much snow. And they were talking about already shutting down the Columbus airport. And they were saying, well, we'll get some charter planes. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing, bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Like, no. Buddy Holly ain't getting on that charter shit tomorrow. Some, twin engine.
And you got cases of White Castle. That's where.
And so we had a Buick Park Avenue. It was green with green leather interior. And the next town was Evansville. And I think it was like, I don't even know what it was, 500 miles maybe. It was a drive. And we stopped and got White Castle, and I got 8 double cheeseburgers, and that's all I got. And then I stopped and I got a case of beer, and I had this little green cooler, and I loaded that up, and I got a bag of ice, and I put it on top of the beer so they'd be ice cold, and I put it in the back seat, and Ross was bartending for me. And as we were going, the only thing I've had is these 8 double cheeseburgers, which is amazing. I didn't shit my pants like an hour into that ordeal. And
that's where this might have been going. But.
So it's so bad that I'm driving down the middle of the interstate, like, because in the north especially, the roads have had that berm, so the middle of the road it blows clean. So I'm driving right down the middle lane. There's nobody on the road, but like a mile back or 2 even, because it's like dependent, and it's pretty flat. Like, I can see that there's like somebody back there. So eventually, like, we're down, and I think he says, he handed it to me. He goes, "You've got 6 left." So he handed me my 18th beer. And
in what amount of time?
Fuck, maybe 4 hours. And
have you pissed
no. Yet? Fuck no.
Ooh.
No, I'm pissed. I'm so dehydrated from wrestling, and I got no food in me. So it's just like, so there's I want to think it was like a marathon or something. It was like some station that we had in Michigan, but not nowhere else. And it was up on the top of this hill, and it was lit up. And I said, "Fuck!" I said, "That's definitely open. Let's go over there." So I get off the exit, and I'm not paying any attention. I go, and it's also a truck stop, but there's no trucks up there. So the one side where the trucks would go, it's just kind of it's like a football field of just snow. There's no tracks on or anything. So I go about 35 miles an hour, like around in this thing, and I just slam on the brakes to see how far I slide. And in my mind, I'm actually doing that. I didn't do a donut. I'm seeing like how like okay, like double. I'm going 70 when I'm out on the road, so double this, and that's how long it's going to take me to fucking stop. You know. Well, the guy that was following me this whole time is a fucking state trooper. And the minute I fucking pull this slide gimmick, count like 1,005, and he's behind me and he blue lights me. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I tell Ross, just zip the fucking, because this cooler did not look like a cooler. He zipped that. We were tossing the beers out of the cans out of the window, and he just put a coat that we had over the thing. And the guy comes up and he goes, "What was that?" I said, I was just checking the skid ratio. He goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm from Florida. I've never really driven in the snow that much. Of course, I'm from Michigan. He don't know that. I got a Florida license plate. I mean, a Florida driver's license." So he says, "Have you had anything to drink?" I said, "Yeah, I had a couple of beers at Applebee's." He goes, "The answer's either no or I had one. Not." He said, "It's never a couple." He goes, "That wins you a fucking blow into the breathalyzer." He says, "Could you get out of the car, please?" So I get out of the car, and as I get out of the car, and I go from it being, and I never turn the heat on. It's barely, it's probably 68 in the car, but once I stand outside and that fucking cold hits me, I'm going like, oh, fuck. Like, this is going to be close. Like, I feel off because, number one, I've been driving nonstop for 4 hours. So I have that.
It's disorienting.
I'm thinking like, what if I fucking blow fucking, like, I've never had a DUI before. Like, oh my God. So the guy fucking gives it to me, and I blow into it like this. He goes, "No, you got to blow into it." I said, "Fuck, give me the damn thing." I said, "Fuck it," I blow into it. And he goes, "Huh." He goes, your buddy been drinking?" I said, "No, he hasn't been drinking at all." He goes, "Well," he says, "you're .02. So you're a quarter of the way intoxicated." And I said,
Yeah, but that's well under.
Right. He says, I'd much rather have your buddy drive. Because he goes, "You were driving down the middle of the road and I couldn't catch up to you." I said, "I had my cruise set on 68. The speed limit was 70. I said, so I wasn't going above the speed, and there was nobody on the road, so I didn't think I was going to cause any harm being in the middle of the road." And he said, "Well, I couldn't pursue you because you were going too fast for conditions." I said, "I'm not going to argue with you." I said, "But obviously the conditions weren't, you know." I'm pounding beers and listening to radio, dude, talking. You're back there. All you have to do is fucking look at my taillights and try to catch me. You're like, shut the fuck up. So we go in, and I'm like, well, fuck it, man. So I piss, and the guy's just sitting out there. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm like, well, I'm getting more beer because we got a ways to go. I said, I'm getting more beer because I'm not going to drink these. Like, if I feel like drinking like 8 beers and I've got 6, I'll be pissed. So
just wait till the next gas station, Kevin. There's one coming.
So I go in and get a 6-pack, and I open the trunk and I put it in the trunk. And the guy's looking, he just shakes his head. And Ross, like, you know, he really? Do you had well now, yeah, like, because he doesn't know we don't have a cooler. So it's just like, I'm going to put fucking a 6-pack of beer in the trunk. You've already told me I've had too much to drink, but he's driving, so we're fine. And we take off, and he goes the opposite way. And I said, he's called somebody to fucking,
2 miles down the road,
yeah,
there's
to
another
pick us up.
Smokey in the
And
bush.
it was about 10 miles, and we picked up a straggler. And I just sat in the front, and I said, because he was looking in the mirror, I said, give me the Iggy if that fucking guy, starts to make a move on us, but he never did. And needless to say, we made it there alive. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, so what you're telling me is I can drink like 80 beers and I would have been fine? Like,
yeah, right. If you were only a quarter of the way at 18,
18.
it's 18 times 4, so it would have been 72 beers?
Yeah.
Am I right with that? I am right with that.
Yeah. But how many did Andre drink that one time? Like 150 or something?
Yeah, I mean it's
Steve.
myth, so I don't know.
No, I think it's pretty very. Steve, what was Andre's number? Because Scott.
While he looks that up, I want to check something.
Scott,
you said that was
Scott used to always call me baby Andre.
It's skinny Andre.
Baby Andre, come on, baby Andre, drink another one.
Marathon Gas, is that where you picked up your 6-pack?
I think it was.
I wonder if you used the Cash App card, Kev, and all the many places that you get deals at, I wonder if Marathon would be one of them, because Cash App just released a new status program for the way people actually spend called Cash App Green. Unlocks new ways for you to pay, get rewarded, and easily grow or manage your money on your terms. So now when you spend at least $500 a month with the Cash App card or Cash App Pay, you earn green status, which unlocks benefits like up to $200 of free overdraft coverage, higher borrow limits, and custom personalized cashback offers every Friday at places you'll love to shop. Maybe even Marathon Gas. I would have to check. So you can turn every day into status with Cash App Green. Download Cash App today, right on your hand device. It's not even a phone anymore, your little hand computer. Or just visit cash.app/new to learn more about this and other great features launching now. For a limited time, a new Cash App customer can earn $10 if they use the code CASHAPP10, APP, Cash App 10 in their profile at sign up, and then send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Cash App Green overdraft coverage, borrow, cashback offers, and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Thank you, Cash App. It's not just a way to send money to your friend anymore. With the Cash App card, you get so much more. Thank you, Cash. What do we get, Steve? Andre's beers.
So Andre drank 119 in a 6-hour period. So that makes 18 in a 4-hour period. Pretty pedestrian.
Wow. Yeah. Listen.
And I mean, I was 320, so he was 520. So he had 200 pounds on me.
Now, what's Harley's there? Now, Andre was still 120. Another story involved Andre drinking more than 125 beers in New Orleans with Harley Race, as told by a journalist. I sat next to Harley Race. He was drinking Bud Lights.
That motherfucker.
It's a great story. I could see it, too, with the cigarette dangling the ash. So we hire Harley for a kayfabe contest. We had just started this company. We weren't even shooting on video. We were doing audio stuff at the time. Just seeing if I can get wrestlers to come in, get on the headset with me, and record some stuff. So I get Harley Race. What a coup, right? So I'm sitting next to Harley in the hotel. And in between takes, he leans over to me and says, "Can you do this?" I said, "Harley, whenever I get that question, the answer is no." So he takes a bottle cap, Kev, and I'll use my water bottle here.
Folds
He
it in
puts
half.
this way between his pinky and ring finger, your weakest fingers, and he folded it like a clamshell just by moving his pinky like that. It was unbelievable. I was standing in front of him looking out the window because it started to snow. And he said, "If my flight's canceled, this is costing you a lot more than you paid for me." And he reaches under from behind and pinches my balls. I didn't know if that was like a wrestler handshake or what. I stood there frozen in front of the rest of the crew, not knowing what to do. So that was the second most miraculous thing I saw him do with his fingers that night. I'm going to give the bottle cap as the first. But
God, he was a fucking one of a kind. I was blessed to have him manage me, and he drove. I mean,
oh, so you did the Harley Road deal with the
oh
bottles
my
out the window?
God,
Yeah.
man!
Yeah.
And he didn't let anybody drive but Harley.
Yes.
And I remember,
What was the average speed?
the those rental Cadillacs had like 105 mile an hour like governor on it, and he thought like it had like, you know, the cars nowadays when you get too close it stops you. He thought it was like some kind of malfunction. I'm like, dude, they don't want you fucking taking this, because you know, that Cadillac North Star engine, when those came out, those things would scream. But I mean, I just remember the one time we got lost in downtown DC, and we're going the wrong way at like 70 miles an hour, and we're heading right at Walter Reed Hospital down the wrong way on the street. And we pull up, and the fucking guys like are at the gate, are almost like ready to fire their M16s. And he puts his window out, puts his window down, slows down. "I'm sorry, sir, we're fucking lost." The guy says, "Yeah, you're going the wrong way too." He goes, "Obviously we're going the wrong way. We don't know where we're at." He goes, "No," he said, "you're going the wrong way down that street. It's a one-way." He goes, and and the guy's right here, and he looks over at me. He goes, "Wasn't I just going one way?" Like the guy couldn't hear him, but he's like, and then the guy gives him directions. He goes, "Okay, thank you." And he puts his window up, and he starts off, and it must be a pro wrestling trait, because I know that you would think that the person that gets the fucking directions would listen. They always fucking think that the person in the car, "Did you get that?" "No, motherfucker, I'm not If you would have said,
And you're already gone, right? You're
yeah,
already pulled away.
you're already gone. You're like, "Motherfucker." So now you got to hey buddy somebody, and we're like in the hood. We're in the hood in DC, and I'm fucking hey buddying in a fucking white fucking Cadillac, no tent, two white dudes in it. I'm like, oh fuck, man.
Can you imagine today, for anyone who doesn't understand the differences in the business, forget about the on-screen product, riding with Harley, imagine riding with Albano.
Oh,
Is there anybody on the roster today that would be? I'd imagine riding with Seth Rollins or Brock Lesnar is not anything like this.
well, they don't. Number one,
Got the
if you-
GPS, so
no. If you drove with somebody, that would mean that you would be on their bus.
Oh, right.
Nobody
Yeah.
fucking gets in a fucking three in a rental car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Epic.
And now there's no house shows. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's true. Everyone's going to the same place now, right?
yeah,
So,
charter flights and Yeah,
You know, I was thinking, it's good.
I'm just saying, there was a lot. I listened to a couple of different podcasts just to kind of get the vibe of what people in our industry think. And I listen to some people I think that have a pretty good opinion. And one of the things that kind of came, and two of the guys were good hands and have been around a while. So they were, talking. All three of the guys actually that I listened to are good hands. And they were just basically saying how somebody like Jey Uso right now, who's kind of like the storyline wise, he's kind of down and out. He's questioning himself. He's jumping, down the throat of the announce girl backstage, and he's kind of like in the crossroads of his run of his career. And one of the things is the people have been saying that he blows up. And we talked about this months and months and months ago, how if you continue to do the yeet from the fucking top of an arena through the crowd
For 20 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. And then you're expected to go another 20 after that at the fucking at main event caliber work. It's just, and it's not like you would. What are you gonna do? You just like, even if you just said, I'm going to yeet 15 minutes a day, you wouldn't give it the same yeet that you give in front of 12,000 people.
Correct.
It's the same as when people say they just need more ring time. Well, yeah, the people they should be forced to go to the performance center. When I came back from my quad injury, they sent me down to Ohio Valley, and with nobody, I mean, there's guys that are breaking in, but there's no crowd. So there's like, as soon as you blow up, you stop. Because you're just, I'm testing my wheel. I'm not down there trying to get in a conditioning shape. I'm just trying to fucking see if I can fucking motor, do my moves, if I can hit the ropes. Like there's nothing I can do at home that's going to mimic me running the ropes in a canvas ring.
Mm.
The ring, the mat gives, the canvas fucking slides, the ropes. So all that shit you've got to do in a ring. And there's nothing you can do at home to get you in wrestling shape except wrestling. I had a guy ask me one time, he goes, what'd you do all those years on the road for cardio? I said, besides work fucking 20 minutes every night?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I never blew up. I said, because number one, I mean, I've been an athlete my whole life. I've got a pretty good cardiovascular system, but I mean, you push yourself.
Someone like Warrior. You remember that entrance?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, it was why didn't you ask why his matches were 4 minutes long?
Right. Yeah.
When when Bill, Bill would go short, but Bill put so much into, like, he amped himself up to such a point before he came even out of his dressing room. He'd bang his head and fucking bust it open. He concussed himself that one time. And, to get like that, jacked up and then I couldn't even imagine the amount of ATP your body would be burning just walking to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me and Scott, it was like, there was no difference of walking down to the ring than it was walking out of the strip club at 4 a.m.
Right.
It was just
strolling.
Yeah, just we knew what we were doing, and that was always the beauty of being in a tag match with Scott was, if one of us didn't feel like doing it, the other one usually would pick up the slack. Scott always wanted to work. Like, Scott loved it. I mean, Scott never took a night off.
But didn't you still have, like, the adrenaline of walking out in front of 20,000 people?
Oh, yeah. That's
like, it's still cooking.
Yeah, it's
in
still
you.
great.
But I'm saying it's still, you could still be gasping for air just from the excitement of it, right? Or do you just get desensitized to it?
I think you do, because I remember that it took a lot of years. And I remember sometimes, man, there'd be like a 30-gallon waste, like a trash can back by gorilla position, and you'd be next. There was no way you could walk back to the locker room. You just take that nervous piss right in that fucking waste can.
So was that a thing? Always needed.
It was for me. There was a lot of like, I remember Vader would fucking like almost dry heave. Like, he'd be by that trash can dry heaving before he went out. Like, each guy had their own thing. I think he was dry heaving because he was dry heaving because he was smelling my piss. But
I don't think Vader's in a position to complain about smell to anybody.
No.
Else. But yeah, I mean, that's a thing, the entrance. And I think this is one of those many things that, unless you're talking to a wrestler, someone who's from the outside world, you look at the work and you're looking for somebody blowing up in the work. But the entrance and anything you do before that to warm up in the locker room, squats or anything like that, it all gets factored. It's an aggregate buildup.
And I would always
spending energy.
Once, like later in my career, I had so many injuries. I remember at TNA, like, me and Scotty Steiner would dress in this little, it was like a small theater room for like a screening room at Universal that maybe had, maybe 40 seats in the screening room, but it had like an area down at the bottom next to the screen where we could both, there was room for us to, like, stretch out and do bands. And Scotty and I would start like about 4:00 would be like the first, like, get down and move, like, start to, roll a fucking roller across your lower back and maybe your hamstrings, and like start the process. Then maybe do some band work and start working your shoulders. And then 6:00 was the
band work, being the metal bands.
Yeah. Just sealed out like the tubing.
Okay.
With the handles, just like do some band work, and then 6:00, like, do like a different version of it, and then as the taping got closer, then it was like, put your gear on. And I basically had like, my knee was so bad that I couldn't even function without this. I mean, it was a monster of a fucking knee brace.
Right.
It was a derotation brace that kept everything together. And I'd warm up, and then right before I walked across to go to like the gorilla position, which was, I don't know, 50 yards. I would take my pants down and re-snug my knee brace one last time before, I got in the ring. And that was like a ritual. And I would always do 12 Hindu squats, and on the 12th one, I would stay down in a catcher's position and rock back and forth for my groin. I'd say the Lord's Prayer. I'd ask him to protect me when I went out there. And then
who gave you the physical ritual? Who was that part of your training, or just something you knew from basketball?
It was my own thing that I did to, like, there was a certain time of the day you taped your wrists.
Right.
Like, it was like a ritual that you did, and then if something happened and that ritual got thrown off, then you were like, oh, I'm going to break my neck tonight. This is it. Like,
Right, because you didn't get in that
didn't
extra
get,
Hindu squat where you stayed
exactly.
in the catcher's position.
And it'd be one of those things where they'd be, go, go. I'd be like, fuck, man, 13, 9, 10, 11, 12. Our Father who art in heaven. Like, no, motherfucker, I'm doing my shit. So.
Epic.
So who's the man? Who's the man in black? I've thought
there's
about
a lot
it.
of talk.
I've thought about it. It's
which theory are you buying?
Al
No pun
Perez. It's Al Perez.
The Black Scorpion.
He didn't
all
show
over
up
again?
as the Black Scorpion, but he's having a return. He's going to be so Al Perez is going to redeem himself for not being the Black Scorpion. So that's my guess.
He's still alive, right, Al Perez?
I don't know.
Like? Steve, you can look it up. So of course,
he's a good guy.
I mean, there's a lot of theories. We can go through some of these theories, and we'll see which theory you subscribe to. Someone saying Harley Race scaled the. No, he's no longer with us.
No,
but
Steve said that Al's still alive.
Al's still alive. Okay.
Al kind of had like a not as chiseled, but he kind of had like a rude kind of. He was in good shape.
He got a tryout, I think. He got a couple of matches with WWF at the time in the late 80s. I believe he's the one that told the story. I will confirm it. That he sat in the initial meeting with, I guess, Vince, but also Pat. And Pat said to him, I can see you going both ways. And Al pushed Pat down backwards out of his chair when he said that, as Pat protested, I meant baby and heel. I meant baby and heel. And then Al didn't work again. I'll confirm that, but I'm 99.9% sure that was Al Perez. He looked good. He had a great look. He was a good worker. He was way over in world class. Hey, whoever scaled that cage might have been one of the JCW Lunacy workers.
Whoever it was a
on Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Were you can mention one of your favorites from the roster?
No, I'm just looking. I'm looking at Al Perez.
Oh, okay. Well, while you do that, I want to remind you.
It's funny. Like I thought he had I mean, not that he had a bad body, but I thought he was more jacked than this.
It was a natural look, kind of like a Gino Hernandez type, you know.
Yeah.
If I asked you what pro wrestling's longest running national independent federation was, currently 27 years, you would have gotten that correct. Juggalo Championship Wrestling, JCW Lunacy.
Don't make me go get my JWO jersey.
I sweat you so much for having that. I'm gonna have to have Joe make me one.
No, you don't get. You gotta go. You gotta be at the fucking.
Not JWO. I'll get a JCW one, but I haven't earned the JWO one. Naturally,
You gotta go to the gathering. And go on at 4 a.m.
Let's go. Me and you. What are you doing in August? Let's go. JCW Lunacy's on fire, Kevin. Weekly viewership has grown 300% in just the past 6 weeks. With each episode outpacing the previous. We're closing in on hitting 50,000 per episode per week. Thursday nights, 7 o'clock. If you're not sitting in the room here with us, here Thursday at 8:18 p.m. Eastern, you're probably watching this week's episode of JCW Lunacy. Vince Russo's not only the on-camera investor, but, we could peel back the curtain here. He's doing the writing. And it was a long road helping make this happen. But it's paying dividends now. And you know what? When you own a company like this, when you're so invested in it, maybe Vince McMahon it's been Joe's company, Joe's baby for 27 years. it's hard to loosen the grip, right?
Yeah.
And over time, it's just being reinforced. It's been your decisions entirely. And if you're having any success, it reinforces that your instincts are correct. And it wasn't easy having Joe allow somebody to come in and write with him.
To me, it's no different than, when Vince was, when Triple H was kind of starting to make his move into prominence. Like
Right.
Vince tried to come back in and take over, and it was, and you could only, Vince basically did the same thing. That's his baby from birth.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. Yes.
So,
And but you got to find new things, right? And the momentum we're finding now is going to pay dividends. LUNACY every Thursday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube. We have some new broadcast announcements that are coming soon. Can't say anything yet, but there are 2 tapings next month. Go ahead.
I've always liked Vince's approach to pro wrestling.
Russo.
Yeah. Like, he's like me. Like, unless it's AJ and Finn, I don't need more than 10 minutes, preferably about 8, to watch anybody wrestle, unless it's a pay-per-view.
It's so funny you nailed that number, because in Russo scripts, he leaves 7:30 for each match. It's funny you pulled 8 out. Maybe unless it's a main event, then you do a wraparound with a commercial in the middle. But that's funny.
Yeah. Well, no, we would talk, and it's just like, because there's nothing that you can do on a weekly basis, move-wise, that, I mean, with the guys at AEW, when you have Moxley on AEW and he's doing whatever like the craziest shit on earth, like by far he's my favorite talent, as far as if I'm going to watch somebody do something insane, I know he's going to deliver.
Yeah.
He'll. I saw a really cool a clip of him walking to the ring, and like somebody kind of was, I don't know if they were special needs or intoxicated, but he was walking to the ring, and he was walking like through the crowd, and this person had his back to him and kind of walked into Moxley, and Moxley spun him around and kissed the person on his forehead as he passed him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was just like, I said, like that's so his place to be. Like he kind of owns that place.
Yeah.
And they got they got a ton of fucking heat. Like they did it the old NWO way when they came in there with that faction. They got fucking 6 months. They just beat everybody down, and then when Hangman finally beat him, man, it meant something. I watched that. I watched that match, and it was just like, okay, it's definitely a different style than Raw on Netflix. It's hard to watch, because I mean,
one of Vince's things, though, Kevin, and when we talk Raw every week, one of the things that I think is absent sometimes is when you guys were working together, and you couldn't miss a week as a fan,
right?
Because you can't just jump in and pick up, like an indie show. It's all packaged for you, and everything's in one night of wrestling. And if you don't see it, who cares? You just jump back in there. But with Russo's thing, when you guys were doing it, some shit would go down, and you would need to come back next week to find out either why you did what you did, or what you were going to do next, or what your response was going to be. You had to come back next
because
week.
It's booked episodically.
It's booked episodic TV. Exactly. It's like all the series today. Like Love Boat was 1 episode. If you missed episode 7 that year, it doesn't matter. Toady Fields will be on next
because
week.
A complete different fucking The crew is the same. The people that are the guests that are getting on the ship, change from show to show.
Right, and it's all self-contained. But
Do you know that
thing.
Goldberg and I were on a episode together of The Love Boat.
Absolutely. And did you take a spear into the pool?
Who
took a spear?
I took a spear into the pool.
That's hot.
Yeah.
To be on Love Boat and not be 87 years old or dead.
Right.
Because it was the redo. It was a remake, right?
It was
a reboot.
Oh God, what was his name?
The captain?
Yeah, it was God, I'm going blank.
Oh wait, no, Dantana, not Gavin McLeod?
No, it was his next. It's the guy that took his spot.
Robert Urich.
Yes, Robert Urich.
Was it Robert Urich?
Yes.
Pulled that out of my ass. All right.
Yeah, I couldn't think. I'm sorry, Robert.
Well, you'll get episodic, exciting booking. Check out JCW Lunacy every Thursday night at 7 on YouTube. Stars like James Storm, Kerry Morton, Ricky's son, Caleb Connolly, Big Vito, and Russo running the show now. 2 tapings next month. December 19th in Milwaukee at The Rave and December 21st in Detroit at Harpo's.
Nice.
Maybe I'll swing up to Detroit on the 21st.
Harpo's. I saw Game Changing Wrestling had a show there.
Uh-huh.
It was so cold.
Inside?
Harpo's had like no heat.
What are you doing on the 21st? Maybe I'll meet you up in Detroit. You can show me Detroit, like I wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I'll actually be in Pittsburgh.
Not too far.
Yeah, no, I'll be freezing my ass off. But
so if in Pittsburgh, why have to do it in Detroit too?
Yeah, but I won't be showing it. I'll just be signing my name and with a big coat on someplace.
You know what's coming up soon too, Kev? Pornhub's year in review should be coming very soon, and I think that is the best barometer of what's going on in the country, to look at the most popular searches. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't
know. I live in Florida. We don't get Pornhub. We don't get any pornography in Florida.
No, you poor bastard. Yeah. But Steve, let us know when that happens so that we can get that information, that very important information, out to the public. What's being searched? Golden showers being searched in North Dakota, perhaps. You watched Mad Men in the first iteration of the show, right?
Correct.
They've done a re-release on HBO Max, and it's like 4K restored and all this. So the original prints, things are showing up on this version that were out of frame in the prior. Like this takes place in the 60s, right? So there was a sign in a store window, which is, if you watch the HBO Max version now, you'll see they're advertising cell phone SIM cards in one of the windows of the stores that wasn't in the original, but is now showing up because of the extra frame space. And I think there was another one too.
Dystopia, Mad Men.
Yeah, it was very a very predictive world they were living in back then.
Unbelievable.
Those advertising people knew what was coming.
Nobody listened to them.
Exactly. One more thing I want to talk about before we...
Ham was on Bitcoin before anybody.
He was all over that shit. I saw a stem cell article today, which gave me pause. Other celebrities were talking about... It's not cheap, right? I mean, what am I dropping? If I go to another country...
Bioaccelerator.
That's Colombia, right?
Yeah, I would think... I mean, it depends on. I mean, somebody like me with this, like 25, 30.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Kylie Jenner went to Mexico, I believe, for this one, and she was talking about her stem cell therapeutic procedure she underwent after suffering chronic back pain after giving birth to her son. She's young. Was she 28? And she had chronic back pain. Nothing she tried helped. And then she talked about in her in an Instagram story, I think she was talking about her sister Kim Kardashian's success when she got a stem cell treatment. And they're singing its praises. Quote, definitely do your research,
and
talk
they're
to your
going.
doctor.
They're going to Mexico, and they don't have the stem cells that they have in Colombia.
Is it the volume of it, Kevin, that...
No, it's where they're... BioAccelerator actually makes your stem cells for you on site. So you're getting... Like, your dose of stem cells when you get it is hours old. It's not frozen. It's not shipped. It's, it's... So you're getting the most bioviability, and you're getting... They give you like 15% more than the procedure in case of any kind of process. But like I got a $500 million last time I went down there.
Right.
Which sounds, astronomical, but when you think of it, it's a fucking cell.
Yeah.
You're talking at a cellular level. But
Are we on the cusp of this ever happening? We thought RFK Jr., might introduce these alternative...
I saw a really interesting thing, and it was how they have basically kept the white poor down, like all these years, the last 100 years, how they've managed to keep the white poor down is because, and they're doing it right now, they pick the Somalians, and Somalians are bad, and all we do is we spread racism, we talk negatively about anybody that's not white, and you're poor as fuck on a Herculean couch that's been handed down 3 times. Yet when you look in the mirror, the message you're getting is you're no different than that white billionaire that owns Meta because you're white. Not that being white is enough.
It removes class or
Absolutely.
wealth or... Right, and it's interesting.
Because instead of saying the corporate fucking greed is what's making you poor, the regulations is what's making you poor, but you just hold on to the fact that you're white and you'll be fine. And it's like, no, you won't. So it's like, the old saying that after the Civil War, the division was still the division, and all those sheriffs in those southern states became, legislation and governors, and basically they just took that racist underline and just made it the political structure of the Deep South.
Right.
The Ku Klux Klan has been around for 150 years. And it still hasn't been, it's never been deemed a terrorist unit or a terrorist activity or a terrorist fucking, it's like definitely not Antifa, but did you know that it's tax exempt as a religious entity?
Well, I mean, any religious entity would have to be.
And a clan.
But how do they get away with calling it a religious organization? What has to be in the
I don't know.
bylaws?
I don't know.
Well, that's something to drill down into. Interesting. Who's the masked man?
Al Perez. He's old. I looked him
think-
up. I saw in modern day Al Perez.
Do you think that there's do you think that whoever came out and scampered into the ring, listen, it had to be somebody agile enough to do this in 10 or 15 seconds or whatever the hell it was.
I was more impressed with the descend than I was the ascend.
The descend was great. Yeah, and fast and scary. The height
And
of
everything.
This. I was paying attention to that.
Everything was spot on. Everything looked. The stomp looked like Seth's stomp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his build was similar to
the size
Seth's.
the size was believable.
Yeah, I mean, so everything. I don't know. I mean, the fact that they didn't cover it on Monday, except for that small backstage when Pierce talked to Heyman and Brock, and Pierce asked Heyman if he was involved in that, and they said he wasn't. I'll tell you one thing I'll say about the watching the two War Games matches is the only way that really works is for it to be the heel's advantage. I think that having the heels, 5-on-4 before like Roman came down.
Right.
I think that is always, and I'm pretty sure. I think I've done 3 of those War Games. We used to always do it at Winston-Salem for some reason. But
in this instance, Kevin, why did we need the War Games? For the way it was executed, couldn't it have just been a Survivor Series match?
No, because in the scope of when they built out that infield, and if you would have just put a ring out there, I mean, you needed something that was like visually, and it was. I mean, visually, it was impressive.
I was just thinking from the function of the match. What I
Yeah,
watched.
but you've got to think about, like every aspect of it.
The presentation and everything. It's all part of the same thing.
And I think that I think that the fact that it was a War Game, if it had just been a match, you definitely couldn't have had somebody scale a fence, scale a cage. I mean, you just have more. The only thing that I didn't get was Sky with the jumping into the people with the trash can over her, and it took like it took like a minute, and I listened once again to some of the other podcasts beforehand, and people were saying shit like, I wonder which one of these guys is going to put it all on the line, so they'll never be able to make love to their wife and hold their children again for that 46,000 people. Like, who's going to set themselves on fire and wrap themselves in barbed wire and jump off the corner? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, none of them. They're all mid-40s.
Yeah.
All
half banged up anyway.
Yeah.
As it is.
And then that's
it was Iyo Sky in the can.
Yeah, it was. Fuck. And to me, like, God bless her for even, like, it's one thing to fucking jump off the top of a cage. Not that I know. In my mind, though, I'm thinking, like, fuck. I remember the first time I jumped off the top turnbuckle, You go 7 feet on top of that, and you're like, fuck, it's a long way down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's enough to jump off the side of that cage with your vision, let alone with a fucking trash. Like, that's like
Blinded, basically.
That's
yeah.
one step beyond what the old going off Niagara Falls in a barrel. Like, what the fuck? And then my whole thing is, it's a trash can and it's coming. You don't know how it's coming. It's not like she don't have a little girth to her. I mean, that could be a cannonball.
Yeah.
And that thing's coming down, and I mean, that thing hits you wrong, it fucking decapitates you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see how the fuck that ever got I would have walked out there and went,
Yeah, being asked to do that.
I
Unless it was her suggestion. Maybe it was her suggestion.
I don't know how it came about, what it was. I would have just went, no.
No.
Because it took too long to set up.
But listen, while we're talking about EO and the can and safety and security, it brings to mind STOPBOX. Now, she's not quite small enough to fit in one of these, but if she were able to, this thing would have done significant damage because STOPBOX, our friends at STOPBOX USA, have come up with the answer for weapon owners for protection in the home, for both safety, security, but also access. Okay, and that's the magic thing there. What are you going to do in the dark? You're going to be fumbling with keys, trying to open your thing, or worse, a keypad where the battery's dead, and you need this in the middle of the night. You need to, God forbid, get to your piece. This is 100% mechanical, and if you could see the buttons here, it is the position of your fingers on the buttons that open this. I'm so obsessed with the science behind this thing. It's unbelievable. You're either locking your gun away too far from needing it, or the opposite, it's too accessible to everybody. Well, with STOPBOX USA, you have both. You have security and readiness. Their mechanical keyless system allows for fast, secure access without the risk of, you see me? I just opened this. It's a second. I'll close it, and we'll open it again. There it is. It's that simple, but it is locked now and secure. No fumbling for keys. No trying to type into a keypad in the dark, okay? For those of you who take safety seriously, STOPBOX Pro delivers the perfect balance of preparedness and protection. And the holidays just got a little safer for everybody and a lot more affordable. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting a crazy deal. Not only do you get 10% off your entire order when you use the code NASH10 at checkout, the number 10, not the word, at STOPBOXUSA.com, but they're giving you a buy one, get one free for their STOPBOX Pro. That's insane. 10% off and a free STOPBOX Pro when you use NASH10 at STOPBOXUSA.com. Thank you, STOPBOX, for keeping us safe and secure and giving our listeners a crazy-ass deal like that.
I actually started putting my piece in my STOPBOX in my trunk when I go in the gym. So it's just not in my car.
Right.
And I don't just want it in my trunk. So that way there, if somebody opened my trunk, they'd be like, and they couldn't get in the box, they wouldn't know what's in it. So
Right. That's a good idea.
yeah. Then I just carry that way there. I'm also not carrying a firearm in and out of my car. I'm carrying the STOPBOX.
Right.
So I go back in my vehicle. I take the firearm out and put it, and I'm ready to go.
It's even TSA approved to check onto
Yep.
your onto the plane and in your bag. Kev, some folks were listening and watching last week and had things to say, like Kenneth J, who said
Can I real quick say one
anything
thing?
you want. Your name is on the
Thanks.
goddamn show, Kevin.
So sure is.
Much smaller.
My buddy Ross that works. He's the TNA guy. And one of his jobs is putting asses in seats. So the TNA that's going to be live January the 15th, and the 17th is the Genesis pay-per-view. Both of those are at the Curtis Calwell Center. The Curtis Calwell Center in Dallas. So if you guys want to grab your tickets for that, be looking for it. 15th and 17th, you got the first AMC taping, and then the Genesis pay-per-view on the 17th. So 15th and 17th, Curtis Calwell in Dallas.
And maybe swing by and say hi to
Ross.
To Ross. Congratulate him. Kenneth J., the interview referenced around the 21:30 mark about Austin talking about Vince is from a Canadian show called Off the Record with Michael Landsberg. It used to air on TSN, Canada's version of ESPN. He had wrestlers on often. They were pretty good interviews. I do remember that show, and I did think that Landsberg was a good host. And it was at a time where it was...
Jack Tunney was still the...
No. I'm going to say it was shooty. It wasn't...
No, I'm just saying that show was shooty.
Yeah.
The Canadian version, yeah.
Yeah, it was, no one went on there working. No one was on in character, and it was somewhat mainstream. It was mainstream in Canada anyway. And I thought he was a good host. And I actually think he did a double episode with Vince. Vince was probably on more than once, but the one I'm remembering, it was Vince and Linda for the first episode. Then it was a two-parter. Then the second one, the kids came out, Shane and Stephanie. And I think Stephanie was just getting involved with the on-camera at the time. The whole family was doing the on-camera thing with Vince. And I remember Landsberg saying, he's like, for full disclosure here, Vince, you wanted to hire me. As I guess an on-camera host or something, but yeah. So they Vince wasn't doing the evil Vince; he was himself. So I thought it was pretty cool that they were drawing the curtain back, allowing a little bit of shooty stuff to get on.
You know what's really weird is because people like they know we were in the Monday Night Wars, and they have this perception that we saw everything that was on Raw, and we basically saw nothing.
You couldn't, yeah.
That was on Raw, because there's no way that you're on the road 300 days. Back then, we were probably down to 180, but we were so worried about getting back to the Marriott to watch Nitro back, because it used to replay right after itself.
Right.
So you could watch your segment to see, so you could critique it. And we would sit in a group of guys drinking beers, and we critique the show. And now as I've gotten older, and I'll see clips, and I'll see where I saw the other day there was a clip where Austin came down and a clean house with a chair, I mean, just right in the head. I mean, he hit Vince a couple of times, and then Linda came down, and Stephanie went to cut off Linda, and Linda double straight armed her on her ass. And I'm watching this, and this is the first time I've seen any of this. And it's when Rock goes over. I don't know if it was the first time Rock won a championship or not, but I know that, I mean, the pop when Steve comes down is unbelievable. Then the pop when Rock goes over is unbelievable. And it's true, it's Triple H is the heel. And I've seen none of this. So I'm watching it like a mark, and I'm thinking to myself, like, God, I wonder how much, I could go back and watch all that Raw from all that Raw from back there would be like brand new TV for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And it is as fans, we could watch both, but you guys, you were working. There was just no
I used to
way.
do that show Rivals for WWE on A&E, and a lot of the rivals, I knew of them, and I saw, like the pay-per-views, but I wouldn't see a lot of the build-ups. And like, so I would get, like, we would do like 3 shows. And so I'd have to like sit at home on YouTube and watch, you know, 7, 8 matches between these guys to get like to piece everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I enjoyed it. I felt like Collinsworth getting ready for the NFL season, but it was, I had to do my homework because, I didn't get to see a lot of that wrestling.
Not in the first run, no.
No.
Leg Boss 7. Brett was in a bar full of drunks in Montreal. He was playing up to the crowd. He can't really believe it. This is the report we did last week where Vince intimated that maybe he was sleeping with Sean. Brett intimated that Vince was sleeping with Sean. He can't really believe that. Vince is what Vince is. Everything is out there for all to see. I don't believe Sean and Vince were intimate. Superman Oman. TSA.
I have to say on that I just think, like, I listened to Natalia on the podcast. She's on Busted Open. I think she's on Busted Open. That's what one she's on with Dave. And she talks like it's like what we do is a shoot. Like her teaching Maxine pissed off Becky. Becky probably wants to get her hands on her, but she'd like to get her down to the dungeon and see if Becky could break. Like, she's talking like it's all like because Maxine got trained so well, she went over. Like, she won these matches. Not the fact that anybody booked it. And I'm thinking, she's a generation away from Stu.
It's a heart thing, is what you're looking at.
So I mean, so when Brett's hardwired from Stu, and it's just like, I think when it comes down to it, that there's a part of Brett that was so fucking operaly conditioned, almost Manchurian candidate, that it's real, it's all real. And he's going to keep a narrative that makes people fucking think that there's more there than there.
But and maybe believes that if anybody, the only way anybody could make a decision to not go with him, is if his dick is in Sean's mouth,
or vice versa.
Sure, a little bearskin rug action.
No, I just like I said, I was with Sean every day, every night, in the ring, and I'm like, no. Like, it's not possible. Like, we were like Siamese brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd at least
You'd have
got
gotten wind. You would have caught a whiff of something on the breath, if nothing else.
For some reason, I was thinking about like that whole. I knew we'd bring this up today, and I was thinking. So my mind goes like into this whole thing about with Natty and Brett and Stu, and then for some reason, God, sorry. For some reason, this voice in the back of my mind said, "Oh yeah, and on the show, make sure that you tell the listeners that during that epic ladder match at WrestleMania 10 between Shawn and Razor, that because I remember Scott, bringing this up to me. They had one ladder. They didn't have another ladder. So if that ladder would have got fucked up doing one of those spots,
It's the end of the ladder.
They had no backup. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine that happening today?
No, and I actually, I'm surprised that they didn't have a backup. Like, not that it would have come into play, like setting up two ladders, but just, God forbid, something went wrong.
But I tell you one
the
thing,
other
they actually had two ladders in the SummerSlam match. Because there were like 3 or 4. I mean, that was one of those deals where, because nobody had ever really had one, it was just like, what if? Like, boy,
would have had to rely on something else. What would they have done?
Fuck, man.
They're smart guys. They would have pulled something out.
Taken more of the main event
An
time?
Escalator match, maybe.
Taken more of the main event time than they already did?
That's right. That was that night.
Oh God, I'll never forget. That was the Shawn Michaels line. When I was the greenhorn, he looked at me. He goes, "The only time you got to worry about fucking match times when you go on last." Like, what, you fucker? Wonder why everybody hates us.
And that was Sean.
Hey, did you know that all the Kliq members are 2-time Hall of Famers? Now that they put in Triple H last year?
Yeah, right. Because Waltman with DX
and the NWO.
Right. Hogan.
No, I'm talking about the Kliq.
Oh, Kliq. How many times is Hogan?
2.
He's 2 also, right? Okay. Scott.
He went in as Razor and NWO.
So Paul was the last one.
Yeah, Paul was the last one.
Yeah.
He was. That's because they put him in. He wouldn't go in.
Got a nice ring. He didn't get the.
I got a fucking horrible fucking.
A little black lung apparently going on down there. Is it dusty in there? What's going on?
Yeah. Actually, I brought a Swisher down here, and I did the area around the table and everything, and man, I don't know, I must have stirred it up because my eyes are killing me.
Well, let me tell everyone about Super Oman, who wrote and said, TSA made me throw out an entire 20-ounce unopened Sprite, and I was looking forward to drinking it when my flight was delayed for an hour. Give me a refund for $150, and I'll dress nicer. This, of course, in response to the dress code we covered last week.
I guess that he wasn't around when the buildings went down. It went to 3 ounces.
Allowed to bring on the
3 ounces of clear fluid.
Yeah, I think what is it now? Is it 4 now? Is it up to 4.2 or something? It increased a little, and you can keep your shoes on. Thank God. But the dress code, they better be loafers or something.
I'll believe that when I see it. That's. So I was supposed to go to Wrestlecade last weekend.
Oh, what happened?
So my flight's at 6:05 out of Daytona Beach. And I don't know how many people have flown out of Daytona Beach, but you go through TSA and there are 6 gates. There's a gift shop and a little tiny bar / burger, sodas, waters type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, and I'm flying American because American flies direct to Charlotte from Daytona Beach. I'm not going to fly to Atlanta, then to Charlotte. So because I've still got to drive 90 miles when I get there to go to Winston-Salem. So I flying first class, so I get in the priority lane. I have no status whatsoever with American, besides the fact that I've got a first class seat. So I'm standing there in a priority, and they're taking one person after another from the other two lines that are just main cabin. So I finally made eye contact with this lady. I said, "Is there any like upside to priority?" And she said, "Well, I was going to get you next." I'm thinking, yeah, fucking 4 people ago. But I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be a holiday guy, and I'm just like, okay, I was just curious. So I go up there, and she goes, "What were you thinking on rebooking tomorrow?" I said, "What?" She says, "Yeah." She says, "Most of the people are rebooking because we're not leaving till 7:45." I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm there at 5. We're leaving at 6. And now I'm basically like, I'm going to be here for 3 fucking hours. So I said, no, I said, I've just got to get to Charlotte. I said, well, will I get to Charlotte tonight? She goes, yeah, I think so. Shouldn't be a problem. So all I have is a little black backpack with a clean pair of sweatpants, clean pair of underwear, and a little toiletry kit and a clean T-shirt to fly home in. So I go upstairs, go through TSA, I sit down, and my phone rings. And I look, it's my wife. And I said, yeah, babe. She goes, I'm watching NBC News, and American Airlines has just grounded all Airbus 320s. They've got a software problem.
Ooh.
And something with the solar flares. And I look at my ticket, and it says Airbus 320. And I look outside, and there's no plane. So I'm like, all right, honey. I said, let me call you right back. So I walk up, and I'm sitting across in some airline that flies like twice a week out of Daytona. I'm at gate 1, and American flies out of gate 3. So I walk over to gate 3, and there's 2 women that are working the counter there. And I said to them, I said, are you guys aware that American has put a ground stoppage on all Airbus 320s? She goes, no. So I Google it, and I hand her my phone, and she reads it. She goes, that's not what they're telling us. I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they're not even smartening you up? So she says, all right. She says, well, she says, I'll come talk to you. Where I said, I'm way over there. She goes, it's not a problem. I'll come over and talk to you. Let me just get behind this. So she ends up sending one of the baggage guys walks over to me, and he says, "Could you go talk to her?" So I walk up there. She goes, "It looks like probably 9:00." So at 9:00, I go back up there. Now at this time, I've been at this motherfucker.
I was going to say, how long have you been at the airport?
I've been there for like 5 fucking hours. You know, I haven't eaten, and now I'm looking at, and we still don't have a plane. And she's telling me that there's not a plane at the gate in Charlotte. It's not like they're loading people yet. So I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, best case scenario, 10:00 at Charlotte, 10:45, 11:00 here, fucking 1:45 to 2:00 back. Half hour, fuck around, get a rental car. I'm looking at 2:30 getting a rental car if they haven't given it away, or if it's Avis is shut down or whatever the fuck goes on in Charlotte, and then driving 90 miles so I can get in at fucking 4:30 to get up at 8:00.
Just basically walk to your table when you walk into the hotel.
So at this point, I'm
signing.
just like, I just text my buddy that's my promoter, and I just said, because he was following my flight, I just said, dude, I said, at this point right now, I said, we don't have like we are very European. Like Tamara usually goes to the store every day to buy whatever we're going to eat fresh. We don't have shit. We have got shit that's frozen, but we never freeze anything. And at this point now, like I know that I'm not going to eat. Like the only chance I got now is Portofino's because they're open till 11. And so I called Tamara and I said, listen, I said, I can make it to Portofino's. What do you want? She says, get me chicken franchise. I said, great. So I ended up coming home, having dinner with my wife, and I guess it was a great turnout. And I just want to say to the people that showed up to see me, I apologize, but at 66 years old, I'm nodding out, sitting at 9 o'clock. Like there's no way I'm gonna at 2:30 gonna be on the road, and it's gonna be 27 degrees when I get there. I'm like, like I think I'm gonna sit there. Like,
Well, it wasn't your fault. It was
no,
American Airlines with their computer update.
Actually,
or
it was
whatever
it was Airbus that they, I've
Airbus
never
320.
I've never understood why you would buy an aircraft from a country that doesn't produce an automobile that you would drive. Peugeot, Citroën, what else did the French put out? Renault. Like, yeah, all three of those are top of the fucking list of things I want to drive.
And even if the plane had come in and you'd gotten on it, these were just grounded for software malfunctions.
Right.
How's that? Are you going to be nice and relaxed on that flight?
Wow. There hasn't been much. As far as aviation, I mean, this definitely wasn't a year where you saw a lot of fireballs off the fucking runways anywhere. Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy. You would have had to relax. Maybe if you cracked a Get Blitzed Lit Aid mixer.
Nice segue.
Kliq This edition, you would have relaxed enough. I don't know if they give them on the plane, but they should. Kev's Key Lime, Sean's Blue Raz. These are the pre-mixed Lit Aid mixers, or what you're looking at there is
you'd have to get the syrup.
The syrup, because you go a little heavier.
Well, you could sneak the syrup actually in a 3-ounce bottle and say it was shampoo.
That's true.
And then wham.
Don't mind the graphic of the cartoon mermaid with the red hair on it. It's pert. The Delta 9 THC sip and syrup is what Kevin's talking about. Then you become your own mixologist. Open a can of anything. You could have a white soda. You could have a tea and pour in a teaspoon. Don't need more than that. And let it do its thing, because nano-infused means it goes right into your bloodstream, bypassing the breakdown in the liver, and it works like alcohol. If you're in Maryland, you can visit a Stay Lit smoke shop, but for the rest of us, it's legal to ship right from the Get Blitzed website to almost all 50 states without a med card, as long as you're over 21. And right now, you can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at checkout. Go to get-blitzed.com. That's get-blitzed.com to try the Delta 9 THC sip and syrup, or grab the Kliq This edition of the Get Blitzed Lit Aid mixers in cans. Kev's Key Lime, Sean's Blue Raz. Don't forget.
I would have liked to have been at the shooting of that commercial.
Of that, yeah, that looks like the coolest gas station in town.
I think it would have been fun.
Thank you, Mickey and Courtney. We love you guys. Doing everything we can to help you. It's a weird time for your product.
And well, I think that we have a year, and I think midterms, a lot of things can change. So,
good point. Good point. The folks here watching us tape live, they're part of the Kliq This TV club. They're part of the 11 Soft Club that they do at that you can sign up for at kliqthistv.com. And go to kliqthishop.com to get your gear. Kev, I watched Raw. We touched a little bit on the Masked Man, but I had questions. I know we talked a little bit. I found it inconceivable that in episodic TV, my babyfaces lose on the big pay-per-view on the weekend, and they're not even on the follow-up Raw to get any heat back. Nobody had anything to say. about what happened in the ring on the babyface team. I don't get it. Is the machine too big? Is the writing different now? Are we not to expect to catch up on everything we watched? The first Raw after the pay-per-view historically was big because it would seek to answer the questions that came up at pay-per-view. I thought this was another waste of a Raw.
I didn't, because they brought back Morgan. They brought back Morgan,
Which they could have done on any Raw.
but they brought her back this one. I don't know. I think that you have to. I have a feeling they're gonna turn Finn babyface to go with against Dom. So you got to get Judgment Day back together before you can splinter it. So I think that's storyline wise is. I enjoyed the show. I didn't have a problem. I thought Bron cut a real money promo. I mean, I think there was enough things to push the story forward. There was two. There was the Cena match, the elimination match. There was those two matches. So I was surprised LA Knight went over. And
Yes.
then so it would be LA Knight and Gunther.
Mm-hmm. It has to be Gunther, right? This is what we want for John, right?
I mean,
Cena.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
do you think it doesn't matter who gets John Cena's last match?
I don't see John jobbing on his last match, so it doesn't matter.
But to have a good match could be anybody.
Well, either of those guys they're both good in the ring.
I don't know. Just ever since the tournament started, I just kind of always felt that it would go Gunther's direction.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I've prejudiced myself to believing that.
I'm just saying. To me, I don't go into this seeing John doing a job, so it's just like it's just a. I'm more there for I'm not worried about his opponent because they can both go.
It's just the ceremony of what.
It's just it's saying goodbye to John. It's like when Cal Ripken, beat the streak that Garrick had, and that was the first time I remember on SportsCenter they put him in a convertible, and they drove him around the warning track, and the announcers both shut the fuck up.
Just let the crowd do it.
Let it be organic. Let the moment just resonate, and it was so powerful. And I mean, I got goosebumps right now because it's just sometimes, man. It's just. Remember when they used to in the NFL when they did an experiment with the no announcing?
100%. This was in the 80s. I remember I was a young man watching this. I was a kid, and I remember they were going to do it, and it was a fart in church. This thing.
I think they did it in the 90s too. I think.
Did they do it again?
I think they fucking gambled with that. Yeah,
I feel like it was a Browns game. Am I right about this?
I don't remember. I just remember it. It was so bad it might have seemed like more. I think it was like the fucking 5-cent beer night. Wasn't that in Cleveland?
All right, let's see what the
1980
Jets. Oh, Jets and Dolphins. Okay.
Announcerless game. God, you were spot on in 80.
Yeah, I was 8. But I remember watching it, and I remember it was like a thing. People were talking it up, and I guess my dad was curious about
it. See, Tamara's not like a huge I mean, she is. She loves sport. Like she said to me last night, I was watching the basketball game, and the Mavericks were the Mavericks were playing well, and so was Davis. And she said to me, she said, she said, when I first met you, she said, I didn't like basketball at all. She goes, maybe because I didn't understand it, because she goes, I've watched so much basketball that like I know like she knows a shitload of basketball because she's watched so much of it with me, and I complain all the time, especially just the defense, where the simple thing of being able to see the ball and see your man and being in a triangle between the two, and because that was one of the things I could do is I could at least play defense, and all it is hard work and common sense, and but she'll turn the volume down on like football games sometimes, and because she hates commercials, so she'll mute the commercials and the game will start back up. I'll be like, babe, can you hit the announce? She goes, oh, you want to hear what you're saying? I'm like, yes, I want to. I can't. I want to know. They're saying how many yards the guys. I'm like, they don't give everything graphically. The announcers are a very intricate part of the sporting experience. Unless they're too over the top, then it's like shut the fuck up. So
A little Tessitore screaming, maybe?
he's not. I mean, he's just not my. I'm a very Joe Buck, Troy Aikman kind of guy.
Boy, that's a mellow team there. There's
That's right up my wheelhouse. If I had to pick, Romo's too much for me.
How about, did you like Summerall and Madden? Or
Yes.
was Madden too gregarious for you?
No, I like Collinsworth.
Al Michaels.
I like Michaels.
How about the GIF?
Yeah, back in the
day, obviously.
back in the day, I mean, I used to really I like that kind of like the Chris Schinkel. He was very down. Like
Who was Chris Schinkel?
Chris Schinkel did a ton of college games.
Ah,
He's probably he was around. He was around a long time. You would know Chris Schinkel if you saw him.
maybe. I like that era where I felt like every one of the commentators was drinking a scotch in the booth during the game. Like Gifford, Michaels, Cosell. My God. Was he too much of a personality?
Yeah, he was a lot, but that was
a lot.
But that was also Monday Night Football because you had Don, who was singing. And,
Dandy Don, sure.
He was half crocked.
Yeah.
So I mean but that was the beginning of kind of the NFL going entertainment.
Yeah. Moving to Monday night even was a big deal. It was just Sunday morning, Sunday evening, or Sunday afternoon. And then the weird statistic I remember that they collected data on for some reason, the incidents of domestic violence were so much higher on Monday nights because guys would pound their beers, I guess, and watch the game. I remember that got attached to Monday Night Football somehow. In a roundabout way. No, there's no guarantee these men were watching the game, but the number was just higher on Monday nights, and they attributed it to Monday Night Football, which I thought was strange.
Speaking of football, when does that game start tonight?
Oh, it's got to be underway. It's 9:20.
Oh, maybe we should wrap this up.
So I have 27 more commercials. Hold on. But I want to ask you something related to Bron Breakker.
I want to watch
I know you do. Put a picture up. Does Bron win the Royal Rumble in January? Is that what we're headed toward? Is that what moving him to center stage
I don't know.
this week was all about?
Don't know.
Would you book it that way? No reason not to, right?
Well, I mean, it depends. Rollins has to have a way to get in because they're not going to give him a belt back when he comes back from injury. So if you look at it, he was that figurehead of vision, and he went down. So it could be Bron gets the break like Diesel got the break on the Michaels suspension. It ends up Diesel gets a couple of lucky breaks at the expense of Sean. And it's weird. You would think that if you were sleeping with Vince, he would have let like a Winstrol steroid test that only he was privy to pass. Well, call me crazy. Right?
On Sean's part, you mean?
Yeah, Sean was suspended because he came up for Winstrol, which the only way you can take Winstrol through injection, but Winstrol tabs was a pretty prevalent drug back in the day, and shit, I want to think they were 2 or 2.2 milligram. They were small. They were there was really a small little dosage. So, but that was
Did Sean need to be on the gas?
No, he was fat as fuck back then. All he did was pound beers and eat meal for meal with me. He was about 240. He was in the worst shape he's ever been in his life. That was the thing. He's like, are you fucking ribbing me, right? Like I look like this? And it was the same drug that Ben Johnson got busted for when he won the Olympic, set the world record. It was Stanozol.
Winstrol was oil based, right?
No, it's water.
Water.
It's water based when it's injectable, but it was more common back then in a tablet. It was like Dianabol.
Oh, so it was a tablet he was taking.
Well, he wasn't taking. It would be a tablet. Somebody would go up and pick up 8 beers and walk over the table and set them down. So, if you wanted to get Sean, all you'd have to do is drop a couple of Winstrols and
in the beer
and buy him a couple of beers. It wasn't like we were ever turning a beer down. It wasn't like anybody was going to roofie us,
right?
Because we had each other's back. So it was just, we were at the hotel. We were at the jet port. So all we had to do is make it to the elevator, make it to our room.
You'd think if anybody would know about protecting yourself from having a drink zooted, it would have been one of the rockers.
Well, I mean, even in the early days of the Kliq, we could always get from the bar to our room. It might look like a rugby scrum, but we'd get to our room.
Bouncing off the walls down the whole 7 of you.
All three eyes, arms around his. Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. Good times, good times. Listen, if you're going to be bouncing off the walls as you drag your friends to room 207, if you're wearing true classics and they have a lot of give and a lot of flexibility, you're going to be in good shape. Clearly, a lot of people agree with me because 25 million shirts have been sold to 5 million customers with 200,000 5-star reviews. It's comfortable clothing, and it's not just it's not just a superficial thing. The fit feels like it should. Yeah, it looks great. It looks
incredible.
What
were the numbers? How many did they sell?
25 million shirts have been sold to 5 million customers.
How many 5 stars?
200,000 5-star
So
reviews.
the rest of those guys are such douches that they gave them 4 5s. It's like
they didn't even bother.
I guess
to vote.
Because God, that's. I mean, I can go through my T-shirts and like do this on the sleeve. When I'm looking for one of my true classics, I can do that on the sleeve and go, that's a true classic.
I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. I love them. I use them as my layering shirts if I have a sweater
Oh.
over it, and then I just wear it as a tee.
I love to take, like, when it's because we keep the house cold. You take a shower, then you put one of those nice. I mean, it's just a nice. Cause I don't sleep with any clothes on, so just I put that on to just, and then that way if you put the fan on, you can leave it on and just take your drawers off because you don't want you don't want to get a chill because a blanket goes. You put the blanket over your head, so.
I mean, they have it all. It's premium comfort. It's built for dudes to fit the way they should. They feel incredible, like Kevin said, and they're not going to break the bank. They're very reasonable. They have a tailored look. You're not going to blow your budget.
If you go on their webpage or on any of their sites, they'll have like a set of seven.
They come in packs, yeah.
Yeah, like a 7-pack, and they'll have like some really cool colors, like kind of the blue that's behind me, that sky blue. Like I've got that's a great color. I've got almost like a tomato, just some different colored tees that instead of that, wear a black fucking t-shirt. Like Johnny Cash every day of your life.
I have the True Classic black, and I love it. I got a True Classic white, and I love it. I got a couple of earth tone ones. I got an off gray that I love. It's a gray beige, a greige, if you will. Listen, do what Kevin said. trueclassic.com/Kliq, Kliq. That's how they'll know that we gave you the love. But if you're out and about and you're shopping in a brick and mortar like Target or Costco or Sam's Club, they got them too. So grab them there. You won't go wrong with a True Classic fit. Thank you. True Classic. Mad love. The countdown to Cena leaving is upon us, and
what's his final date?
The 13th is 13th, 14th. It's that Saturday night's main event
right.
That's coming up. What's the draw in 2026 after John? Seth's hurt until, I guess, WrestleMania season, he says.
I think you've got to ramp up. Of course, Bron's ready. So it's how fast you want to fuel that. How much is Lesnar going to work?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be very spotty. You can't.
Stop that. Pull down one. Is that? Yeah, Maxine's a pretty photographed well. I mean, she's a really pretty girl, but.
We're looking at the roster for those of you listening to see where the money's going to be in 2026. Well, I guess Dom's angle is, and Bron. Maybe Bron moves into that spot, like you said. He benefits from the injury. Michael Cole said in the Survivor Series pre-show that he called Cena the greatest of all time and said, I don't care what anybody says. And I furrowed my brow and I said, all time? Are we talking all time? So I Googled, actually ChatGPT'd something today. I wanted to know the main event of the top 5 highest grossing WrestleManias. And here they are. Number 1 was 2012. WrestleMania 27. Main event, The Rock versus John Cena. Number 2 was WrestleMania 23 in 2007. Main event, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. Number 3, WrestleMania 21, 2005. That was Batista and Triple H. WrestleMania 4, 2011. The Miz versus John Cena. WrestleMania 29, 2013, John Cena versus The Rock. 4 out of the top 5.
Yeah, but in that you've got Taker and Shawn. You've got.
Listen, there's a card.
Yeah,
there's a card.
Yeah, no, but I think that number one, just the buildings just became gigantic. like now. So you can't tell me with the ticket prices if you only get the box office for the night that you are the main event in, because there's two main events because there's two nights now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
But it impressed upon me.
he's done. No, there's. He's one of the. It's like the LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Chamberlain, Jabbar. Who's the GOAT? You know what? They're all GOATs.
Yeah, at a
Because
certain
the
level, how are you
yes,
going to compare?
the time? Yeah, because time changes everything. You know, you take me my junior year in college and put me in the NBA instead of George Mikan, and fuck, man, I'm Jordan. So
Right. Kev, I'm going to give you two headlines. We're going to do Florida Man, Jersey Guy. I'm going to give you two headlines.
we still haven't come to the realization that we have a football game I want to
That's
watch
why I'm
tonight.
plowing ahead. Florida Man, Jersey Guy. Two headlines. One, the actions of a real Florida man. One, the actions of a real Jersey Guy. Kevin will decipher each. Here's the first headline. Former local wrestlers among 14 arrested over alleged sports betting ring. And
That's Jersey.
man with come back with a warrant doormat arrested in a fraud scheme.
First one's Jersey.
You're correct. It's just because it was betting, I guess.
Yeah, we don't have you can't even do DraftKings down here.
Yeah, well, an illegal gambling ring you can do.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. There's just the betting's not.
14 people arrested on charges in connection with an illegal multi-million-dollar sports gambling ring that was orchestrated by a member of the Lucchese crime family, said the New Jersey office of the Attorney General. This was Joseph Little Joe Perna of Fairfield, allegedly the head of this operation. Him and some of his relatives face charges of racketeering, conspiracy, money laundering, and other gambling offenses. I guess they recruited some former high school and amateur wrestlers to be part of this. And then in Florida, the comeback with a warrant doormat. There he is. Look at him. Has to be innocent. Christopher Music had some created fake documents to pose as a real estate investor and owner of multiple business properties to get mortgages against those properties. Doesn't look at all suspect. And Kev, I wanted to mention, we were talking about the peptides and Paragon Peptides we're going to talk about right now, but I wanted to update you. I looked at the MR.
I'll update you. It's 17-6 Lions with 2 minutes left and a half.
No need to watch then. 17-6. My wife's tear is almost completely off the bone. I looked at the thing, and there's fluid in the cavity, so she's going to have to go under the knife, right? This is.
I've heard of people that have had miracles with that BP 157 TV 500.
That's the Wolverine combination. I know that because you told me to research it, and I did. And that's our friends at Paragon Peptides, the brand trusted by serious researchers who demand results they can measure at Paragon. It's about precision and purity. They supply research-grade peptides and compounds used in labs studying muscle growth, fat metabolism, recovery, and performance optimization, backed by independent testing and full certificates of analysis on every batch. Kev, you said to me there's hair growth ones. I want some thicker, fuller hair. I went and I looked, and there's a copper peptide that's supposed to be very good for hair growth.
I just saw a thing that did some research, and my wife has fibromyalgia, and they've got a peptide that relieves that issue.
Would you recommend the microneedling or a topical for thicker hair?
No, you take the injection in your abdominal.
Oh, so bypass the local region and you just go to here and it
Yeah.
finds its way to where it's
Yeah.
got to be. No mystery powders, guys. No shady sourcing, just verified quality for legitimate scientific research. Every product is for laboratory research use only, not for human consumption. If you
We're
are
talking insulin needles also. You're using a period, so you don't feel anything.
Gotcha.
It's
Guys,
not-
if you're
no-
serious about understanding the science behind performance, check out paragonpeptides.shop. You heard it from Kev before they even came on board, and then fortuitously, we found the leader in Paragon in peptide research, and they're with us now. Use the code Kliq KLIQ, save yourself 10%. Paragon Peptides, for researchers by researchers. All right, Ask Nash. Let's see what we've got here. Steve K. Stars on Sports says, nice shirt. That Nash shirt vintage? It's pretty vintage, right? And
God, this. When did this place close? This is when they had the restaurant in Times Square.
yeah,
So I think they closed in like 2000.
probably 2000. Oh, was it even that late? I didn't even think it went that late.
I don't know. Steve, when did they shut the? I just remember that my first day when I walked in, that Chris Angel was upside down in a glass tank in the souvenir shop. He was setting some world record for being immersed in that glass.
Yeah, you got it, Kev. 2003 was the
Yeah.
closed operations.
I think I was there when I think I was playing the cello, but when they fucking bolted the doors.
You were the late show, the midnight
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, pretty sure I was on the bow of the Titanic when she went down.
All right, thank you, Stars on Sports. Hey, Britt. So Creative just gonna do retirement tours for the next 2 years. AJ Styles, Jericho. I don't know if everybody warrants a tour. John warrants a tour, right, Kev? I mean, you gotta make a big ass deal of that. Sell all that merch.
Well, it's also, John. God, how many years was he? He was the man for a lot of years.
Until Becky was. At least.
I'm talking about really.
I'm talking about really. Yeah, I don't think we're getting a tour out of AJ or Chris. Be some fanfare probably, but that'd be about it.
I don't understand the AJ thing. I guess he just has had enough. Maybe he thinks he's lucky because he's only had a couple injuries.
That's the thing too. You don't want to do it until you really fuck yourself up.
Yeah, no, and he's smart. I know he's smart with his money, and he doesn't live. I'm sure he probably still lives in Gainesville, Georgia, just in a nicer house.
Right. He's a phenomenal worker. All right.
One of my faves.
Ivan's True Family Stories. If San Diego's lucky to get another PLE, let's say Survivor Series 2026, I hope you're able to come to San Diego if we host again. You'll love Petco Park and the 1984 World Series tributes. Was San Diego a favorite stop of yours, Kev?
I mean, I love San Diego. It's a great place.
It's supposed to have the most perfect weather. Is that true?
A little cold for me, but
Really? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ivan.
I'd probably pick, if I had to pick, I'd probably Honolulu.
Oh, well. Yeah. Ace Ramon. Were you there when Harley readjusted the Undertaker's hip for him? Taker said it was like a cannon going off.
No, I wasn't there.
Ace also says, what do you think of Russo calling out Triple H for his booking?
I haven't seen it.
All right. Mr. Nash, before Randy Savage left WCW, did he ever mention to you somebody he had his eye on that he wanted to wrestle, or who he thought could potentially carry the company going forward? This is Savage.
We all left together. It's like they shut the doors.
Yeah, WCW. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a slam. Those doors.
Yeah. That was a phone call of, are you going to be at Nitro or not? Panama City. Vince has bought the company. I said, we don't own it anymore? I said, let me talk to Barry. And Barry says, you don't have to go if you don't want to. I said, well, I guess I'm not going to Panama City.
There's the answer.
I'll watch it on TV. I get paid the same to sit at home. Okay, good.
That's all you needed to hear. Spider Drummer 24. Any stories about Gorilla Monsoon? Taker said that you didn't cross him or you'd get F-bombs mixed with visceral heat.
I don't know about that. I do remember one time that they were downstairs. I think it was in White Plains, because there wasn't room up in Gorilla for Gorilla to be there and Patterson. So they were downstairs, like one level down, but kind of in the same vicinity. You go up and down this staircase. And I remember that Patterson had shit in a paper bag and put it underneath where Gorilla was sitting. And and Pat was telling the story. He said he kept looking at me going, Patterson, you don't smell it? It smells like shit down here. And Pat would go, God damn, every time I get Gorilla, he said, I sit there, I son of a bitch, I break the crust. He kicked the bag, to fucking break the crust on the turd. And he said he did that for like 6 hours taping.
What the fuck is it with you guys and shit? Seriously.
I have no idea. It's,
Good God. And I'm glad we got a little Pat, too, by the way. My favorite Gorilla story was that there was some match was in the ring. This is when he was doing TVs like in Allentown, like in the late 70s, early 80s. And the signal to go home, I guess Mel Phillips, who was at ringside as the the bell guy, the timekeeper, would put a pencil in his mouth and kind of look up at there was no earpieces or anything. We're talking 1978, and whoever was going to go over would go over. So whoever's in the ring is not paying attention. Mel Phillips has like 4 pencils in his mouth. Monsoon walks out from the back to the aisle to the ring and goes, go ahead. Turns around and walks back. And that was
that was Stu used to do that in Calgary.
It's Stu.
Stu would walk down and finish him. Finish him.
All right, wrap us up, T. Blair. Do Crocs count as loafers now? God, I hope not. Oh, for your airline ride, maybe you can try that. But I don't know what the folks at the new committee of the Vogue Committee of Air Travel.
Yeah, and what are you going to do if you don't comply? They're going to fire a second missile at you?
Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, no relation, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2025, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another one?
Do you know why soccer's so popular in the Middle East? You don't need any hands.
Let us free. service never answers a thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never answers